All right, guys, welcome back to the show. All right, hello everybody. We're back at it again. Welcome back to the show. My name is Alec. We got Chase and Timothy here today, and today we are going through Spring Summer collection of Niceness. It is a brand from Japan. It is something that is new to our store. It is a masterclass in garment creation, and we're excited for you guys to see it. So, Niceness.
Al, I gotta say right off the rip, you look cool as shoot.
Thanks.
You look cool as shoot.
I love it.
This is incredible.
I don't even know where to begin with this.
Let's start top down.
Yeah, okay. So this, the fabric here, it's a silk and wool, right, blend. Yeah. It's really neppy in person, but it's really drapey. Like because of the weight of it, it drapes really nicely. All of the buttons look like, you know, vintage Hermes. So this all is like, I don't know if you'll see it up close, but has been pressed with some sort of metal with the Niceness logo kind of on like a ribbon, even like the old Hermes.
Yeah, super nautical.
This feels very vintage Hermes. The jacket's really beautiful. It's like a kind of like a sack coat style, so really comfortable, but you can see it still tailors and dresses up nicely. Even little details like the curving of this, which is meant to make it look like it's kind of used and abused. Yeah. It curves here as well. Feels like almost like a riding jacket blended in. The pants are the same fabric here. A lot of their Niceness stuff will be inspired by like old rock and roll.
Guitar gear.
Yeah, so this is inspired by a vintage like a flying V. Yeah. So there's a little V tuck in the back. It'd be kind of hard to show, but there's a little V tuck in the back. You'll also notice, can you go to the side, Alec? This has all been pleated down the side. Yeah. So that's what creates that really interesting, like, it's not a taper, but a little bit of like a bring in without actually changing the overall fit. So you still get like a big roomy fit that looks really great. Yeah. It's got a single pleat in the front. I mean, really, I'd say the predominant feature here is the fabric, especially when you feel it and touch it in person. It's really, really weighty and neppy and nice. Silk liner.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, we'll pop this jacket off because we'll talk about the shirt and the shoes as well, but I wanted to show the liner on the inside of this jacket when you do pop it off.
Take it off right now.
So this is, Timothy and I were like, oh, he'd say, Cheddar, come look at this detail, come look at this detail. And he'd say, actually flip it inside out. And it's just, the amount of consideration and intentionality behind this is absolutely stellar.
To note too, this is all hand stitched right here, and this follows the same seam here. So it's seamed that way, all of it hand done with the opening here with no buttons, which I think is a very cool little detail too. And then there's the really pretty silk liner on this.
As pretty inside out as it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Regular.
I mean, there's just, Niceness doesn't skimp on anything at all. Every detail is extremely considered.
Yes.
This shirt is kind of based on like vintage French shirting. Yep. Number one, you get this really great gusset, so it looks great untucked or tucked in. Yeah. And then you get this really beautiful French pleating, French pleating down the side. Yeah. You get this kind of old school style, almost like French cuff that actually you don't have to bring up. But if you want to, if you want to just make the cuff shorter and like a French one, you can do this. And then you button it right there, and now you've got a French cuff. So if you need a shorter sleeve, that works too. Looks really cool undone too, because it's very like, that's just a very old school take.
3 buttons too.
Yep. This has been garment dyed and then really washed out, so you can really see it in person. There's a lot of highs and lows to the fabric.
Yeah, you can see it here in the stitching along the shoulder,
I think it
collar.
Really comes in nicely on the placket. Really great length of collar too. You get the nice yoking there. It's just really, really clean and dialed. Yeah, this is gonna look cool if you tuck it in, but you can see how he's wearing it. It like ends perfectly, all flat hemmed, looks really great on its own. The color is that classic French blue. It's about as nice as like a shirt like this can be, because it feels very elegant, but also really broken in and used.
Yeah, even I can just see some texture here along the collar of like little dye splats, little things that make it imperfect, but that makes it better.
Do you want to go into the shoes? I wish we would have prepped a bit more for them.
Let's go into the shoes. Let's go into the shoes.
So we were like blown away by these shoes when we saw them in Japan.
We saw one wall that was all, you know, clothing, pants, jackets, etc. And then there was this wall of bags, accessories, leather goods, and these shoes, and we bent down and picked up the shoes right away. So upon first glance, they might just look like a Vans with like a suede upper, but everything you see here is leather. What would be the vulcanized sole is leather, just painted white to look like a vulcanized like Vans sole. The creasing here in the top with the suede gives them like, they look all already kind of broken in.
The laces are leather, they're finished, those are all metal insets. Yeah, maybe take one off for us. Everything's been like hand distressed. You can see the little metal tap at the end there.
Yeah.
The glue that comes out, like as if you've re-glued them a couple times. They wanted them to look like Beat Vans, and we were both wearing Beat Vans when we came in, and the guy's like, just like those.
Exactly.
And you could tell, like, even where ours were both worn was like exactly where this spot is. And they said, he was like, we got really meticulous on where that landed because it needed to be exactly like they are. It all lined with leather as well. You can kind of see on the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like an enthusiast of this type of thing, like you and I are, this is about the nicest version that exists.
Yes.
I mean, even like trimmed with leather. I mean, I don't even know how you sew something.
Yeah, it's like the little piping is like, again,
it's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's right up along it. It's literally perfect. It's perfect. Also worth noting, sizing wise, if you pop over to the website, we have 8, 8.5, 9. This is a size 9, and Alec is a true US 10. These fit him well with some room.
So it seems like they're running about a size big.
About a size big. So if you need help with sizing, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
But don't be misled by that. I until just he put them on, I didn't realize it would be able to fit.
I think like if you love like Hender Scheme or something like that, and the level of like craftsmanship, detail, and everything that's happening on those, this is like the interesting thing about the Hender Schemes is like, how the hell did you put that together and not ruin the leather in any way, shape, or form? This is sort of like the reverse side, is like, how the hell did you put that together and make that look as like used and also as perfect as you did?
Perfect. Yep.
It's really well. Also, we asked completely resolable too, so like you could run this down and resole them if you wanted to, which is really interesting. So. But yeah, one of the cooler pieces of footwear I've seen in probably years at this point. Yeah, really.
Good is good, baby. So
cool.
All right, Al. Yes, sir.
All right,
Alice.
Another one where it's like I don't know where to begin. So this is all like, vintage, like what they said, it was hunting jackets. So remind me what the trim was. It was water dyed
nubuck leather.
Yeah. So super soft, like especially like against your neck and everything. And then the water dye, I'm gonna assume just because I'm looking at it now, kind of has almost like watercolor highs and lows to it, which are pretty cool.
Like not garment, like similar to a garment dye, but with leather. It's also, we got the piping here, this cuff is backed on the side. We got the piping here. Really, really
throughout
sick.
we're back with that kind of vintage Hermes button. The fabric is super soft but feels really sturdy. Really great texture to it because it's almost like the herringbone almost looks like somebody hand drew it. It's almost like a little bit uneven in a really cool way. It's got the side cinches, big pockets on the front. It's got the zips in the front for the hand pockets or just to keep them closed and have a nice clean look. Also wanted to point out, this is a separate piece, but this is the little crossbody he has here. Matching fabric, matching leather. Really cool thing, again, like I said, they always kind of include some sort of like rock and roll influence. This is actually a guitar strap, like the same
closure,
a locking guitar strap. So it just opens just like that. These are all like German made, super strong, clips right back on there, super easy to take on, take off. It's totally adjustable. Just a nice little clean little guy. I would wear this actually maybe under the jacket. Like when we travel, I've kind of showed you how I do it. I'll keep it under there so I can grab all my stuff, but not feel like it's like, messing up the whole
top
look.
Of your shit.
Really cool. It's really cool. I mean, it's just kind of fun to even mess with the strap because it's
haptic.
Yeah, so that's that. So another really, really great piece. Kind of a shirt, kind of a jacket, somewhere in between. You could do.
I think it's cut like a jacket, but the fabric leans more shirting. It's pretty lightweight. Like, is it gauze? It's like a gauzy material.
Yep. So it is. This has also been woven. This is a Khaki fabric. Much like you maybe see on like vintage bandanas or something. So it's woven the same way, kind of a loose, really natural weave. But then they also wove through extensively what is Ripstop. It's made exactly like Ripstop. It's just Khaki fabric. So really beautiful, light, airy, comfortable, really neppy, very textural. Feels so good. It's so light, but it feels like you're not gonna like mess. You don't have to be fragile with it or anything like that. Really cool little, and again, couple tucks here. Almost not even like perfect symmetrical tucks, so you get this really uneven, cool look to the pockets. Same thing down here. It's these little details like that make a complete difference here. That's why when it's hanging, the pockets still look open. Like, if you've had your hands in your pockets a ton.
How they kind of slouch down a little bit.
Really pretty. I think this looks great. Like we were wearing it sort of like as a shirt because we wanted to show that it's like that light that you totally can. Yeah. But also like with a t-shirt underneath and this over the top, I think it's a great way to like finish an outfit without like adding a ton of weight in the summer. Yeah, really pretty.
It's super light. It hangs well. You know, there's it's good for the summer. Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, just to point out another detail thing, these, I'm not sure what these are made out of 100%, we couldn't find it, but these buttons are really gorgeous in person, almost like Carozzo buttons. Really, really pretty, like very, very like natural look. Each one is completely different from the next. It's really, really cool in person.
Cool. Al, this stuff fits you well, buddy. You look good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get some.
Hey. There we go. We'll try to talk you into it.
Yeah. Let's start with this jacket because I've got the details fresh in my mind. So first off, I want to say, nothing that I say is going to accurately tell you how textured this is.
Yep.
Hairy as hell. Like, I've never seen denim this textured. So not just saying that, just want to start right off the rip.
Yeah, we're not full naked and famous or anything, not doing anything goofy as hell, but but
it's
really
not scratch and sniff.
There's a lot of like texture.
Yeah.
It's really deep in there.
It is an air spun cotton hemp blend.
Yep.
Use some American denim, I believe, in the manufacture.
Yeah, about 13 ounce. It's supposed to be really, really fluffy. That's the point. Yep. That's what that process does. It almost feels kind of crispy at first. I know that that's going to soften up right away because of how much this is washed down. Other really cool thing, you can kind of tell it here in the shoulder right now. Maybe, Alec, if you could spread your wings out so that you can kind of see. So it's cut like a kimono. So it's cut flat. So the pattern is flat. That's to give a more rounded shape as you wear it.
As you wear it,
is really, really cool. You know, sometimes you get a new denim jacket and you're breaking in one right now.
I got it. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. You get a little, life vested in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is not that, and it's meant to like specifically kind of work against that. Yeah. Will you do a spin? I want to show, and then we can go back to the front. But also, they put the leather patch right here in the center, right behind like the Type 1 sort of cinch situation. Just wanted to call that out. And also, where you would have pockets on a denim jacket, it's like they created the illusion of that by putting this bar tag here.
It also creates that kind of almost bulbous shape to it, which I think is really awesome. And then to finish I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, to finish that, to that little pucker, there's a rivet, which I think is a really cool way to finish that. So outside pocket on this side, they repeat it, so it almost looks like there's two pockets, but there's not. So it's not like a Type 2, it's technically like a Type 1. This one's on the inside, even little selvage showing, which is pretty cool. Also, interesting little thing, these are done like vertically and horizontally, depending on how you would want those to actually be. So they're not all done in the same way, which I think is a sharp kind of little detail. I love how spread up, this is silly, but how spread apart the button shanks are. I think it creates it's just an interesting look. Really simple, but really interesting at the same time. So this jacket is like, it seems like anybody could kind of wear it. It seems an easy way to get in, but really interesting details to it. All single stitch too, which is another insane detail throughout. Yeah. Really cool. He's also carrying, so they're really well known in Japan for their small leather goods. Yes. Very modular, very cool. All same leather factory as Hermes uses, so that leather quality is extremely high. This is like a little electronics bag, or you put your phone or passport or anything like that. You can buy the T-bar separately. Cool thing is you can keep adding, they have a ton of little accessories. Like this modular. Is a little key guy. You basically just drop it right over the top. And then you've got this on there, and this works with all of their bags and stuff. So you can keep building into things, which is, I think, really cool. Cool way to collect the brand as well. Yep. Yeah. And the leather, really, it's like all like French calf. It's really pretty. Yeah. So that's cool. Let's show them the shirt now. So then we've got this shirt underneath. This is Supima cotton and spun rayon. So you can imagine it's super soft, almost silky. Yeah. The really cool thing that they point out in the details on this one is it might look to you just like, like a little grayish blue and yellow. This is actually 10 different colors in the weave. When you look up close like Chase is doing, you can really start to like see all the various color and all the depth. It's going to change and open up, I think, as you wear it, since it's all naturally dyed. Again, it's kind of a take on like classic French shirting. Really cool buttons here again. This like mother of pearl, but almost like an ambered mother of pearl. Very pretty.
Also, behind the placket, it's zip.
Yep.
Yep. Also here,
So it kind of functions as a jacket as well as a shirt, even though it definitely leans more towards shirt.
Timbo, I just saw this detail. I'm not familiar with this detail. Do you by chance know what function that serves?
Yeah, so I mean, it's basically just to cover up that the gusset is very high, almost like work shirts. We all know that like those were gusseted really high, so that on work shirts, so that you tuck them in and you still have a lot of ability to move around. This just has an extra piece of fabric sewn in and bar tacked right here, so that it comes down and then creates a little bit less of that open area there, which is nice when you're wearing it untucked versus tucked in. Yeah. So just again, these tiny little details that if you're obsessed with clothes, you're gonna love this brand because it's like it just keeps opening up the more you look at it. Yeah. Great fit. One other thing I want to notice, if you don't mind turning around, really shallow yoke, so it makes it sit and like curve better over, and then it's got these little tucks on either side, again creating this really pretty. See how flat this looks in the back? Normally this would be all bunched up, or they box pleat it here, which is a little more uncomfortable to the wearer. Really smart little detail to make it like lay flat on the back. So you get this really beautiful, like the way it lays is really important.
One thing I'm gonna add, the cotton rayon. A lot of people have gripes because the rayon just hangs, it's super dainty and stuff like that, but the cotton gives it like a ton more texture, and it's comfortable, it's not too light, so it's a good shirt. It's
spun rayon, so that kind of means it's going to get rid of some extra like liquid when you're washing it.
Interesting. Okay.
So it has a much more dry feel.
Well, I was going to say it feels a little more structured than a straight up rayon.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what I mean? So
yeah. So really, really pretty, well finished shirt.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely stellar.
All right. You want to begin with bag or?
Yeah, let's begin with the bag. Let's begin with the bag. D. Marty bag from Niceness. Incredibly cool. So first off, it is deer leather. So if you're unfamiliar with deer leather is like very supple, or at least in the treatment that it is here. Visvim also usually uses deer leather on wallets and leather goods like that. Wears nicely, pretty strong, but again, really nice and soft to the hand. Yeah. This is called singing leather because it makes a sound every time the leather kind of like rubs up against itself.
Which is why they left this loose, so it makes that, it does that kind of unique thing. Yep. Now, just to be clear, it's not gonna make some loud sound or anything, but it's just like a folklore about the leather.
Yeah, no, it's just a little nugget about it. Really cool, they left the edge raw here. So, I mean, if anyone out here has never seen like a hide of leather, I think we take for granted like finished leather good products, but it all does come from an animal. It comes from the skin of an animal, and oftentimes you have these raw edges. Well, in all times with a hide, you have these raw edges. So this is likely from the stomach area. The higher you get up to the spine, the leather is thicker and more sturdy and holds more of its shape. Whereas the closer you get to the belly, it gets a little thinner, has a little bit more character, and a little more like drape to it, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's kind of important to note that each one will be a little bit different because this is all completely naturally done.
Again, this is legitimately the skin of an animal, not to be too crass, but that is the case. So that's what adds to its beauty. If it's a 13-inch MacBook Pro, or if you have a Asus or whatever else you're rocking, you got a big old iPad. They make them big now too, so that'll fit in there too.
This also, it's a really cool, so we're back with that guitar strap thing. It still clips the same way, all that same stuff. And then this one actually goes all the way through down to there. So you can take it off in the same way, which is pretty cool. Yep.
Closures. Yeah.
So really good. I mean, great size, especially for travel. I love the finishings because it feels kind of really elegant, but also kind of rough at the same time. Really cool. Great balance.
And by using the deer leather, again, they wanted it to be able to kind of accommodate its needs nicely. So it's not super stiff in that it will open up like a tote bag or something, if you need to really stuff it full. So
all right, onto the sweatshirt.
Let's hit it. Hit us Alec, please hit us with
do your thing. One thing I want to say before he begins, because he's going to touch on a different thing. This is the nicest fleece fabric I've ever seen in all my years of doing this. This is the most high quality stuff I've ever. It's so well washed out. It's like the perfect color. It's got this great, like, I don't know if you can see it here, but the highs and lows, this like, from the pull of the way it's like woven on the bands is so pretty. Little leather finish there. It's so I mean, you can speak because you're wearing it, but it's so soft.
Yeah, it's the coolest crew neck I've felt. It's the color. It's the just the way it hangs over me. It's very comfortable. It's perfect for summer. Good for spring. You can probably layer it with other stuff during the winter. A lot of stuff. Something that I like a lot. There's this V-neck going down. If you turn it around, it's actually there's no tag on the back of the sweater, so you can actually reverse it just in case you don't want the V. It's just a little added feature. I think it's really beautiful.
And because it's pieced kind of like we talked about, that like kimono style, same deal here. I don't know if anyone noticed, but there's no seams up here. So it lays really natural on the shoulder, especially since the sleeve drops down. So the more you wear this, it's gonna look like it was like built exactly for you.
And a little bit, a little bit of gusseting in the armpit as well.
That's why it's really important to me to notice that just how well the sweatshirt's laying on him.
Yeah.
That's all by design, and this is a really well designed, simple piece.
Stellar.
Yeah, cool.
All right. All right, we have something really cool here. Upon first glance, you might think it is a large bandana, in which you might be right. It could be perhaps a pillowcase, something of that size, but this is way bigger than that. It is, Brando, if you wouldn't mind,
We'll whip it out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sick. So this is a tapestry. I believe
I'm 6'5", so you can really tell.
6'5". That's tight. But this was really cool. So they had this idea for this season. From what we understand, what they told to us when we were in Japan, meeting with them when we first wrote the line and first went to their showroom, he was saying he reached out to a couple different factories in and around Tokyo and Japan. None of them could print at this scale. So I believe this was silk screened in India.
That's right. Yep.
Massive, 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 massive. You can also see it's got like a fair amount of wash to it. So the actual like dye itself has some like garment dye texturing to it. You know what I mean?
It'll continue to age too.
I also just want to say, Brando, it's really cool.
Finished with
they
the
have
little
a trunk up elephant, but the elephant has like big horns, kind of like a mastodon.
It looks
almost,
like a mammoth. Yeah.
Mammoth. So it's really, really, really cool.
Completely hand done as a sum total.
Yes.
Too. It's not a repeat pattern.
Yeah. They made these in navy, red, and black charcoal, which we have here, and you'll see later on, Alec will have it on. They took this and then cut it into jackets, as well as leaving them as tapestries. But
there's no reason for this to exist. It exists out of pure like spite. I think at a certain point. It is an amazing piece. Just the scale of it. I think obviously hanging up on a wall would be so cool, like as it's kind of intended. But you could like put this on the back of your couch, or the more you use it and wear it, it's going to get cooler. So I think that's also a great use.
I think it's absolutely stellar. I mean, if you wanted to wear it, you want to rock it big, I'm sure you could do that as well. But
keep it in your car, use it as a picnic blanket. There's a bunch of cool use cases.
And it is quite sturdy. So I would say it's thicker than a standard bandana. So
also, if depending on how you are able to rock things, you could basically silhouette this onto yourself as a dress too. You know what I mean? Like you could probably work it that way too if you fold it up and shit. So.
Cool little niceness hit in here. The texture is crazy. Good is good, which is part of their like saying. It's a kind of like their motif, their mantra, I suppose. But yeah, I've been really stoked.
It's really beautiful.
We threw this out on the showroom floor, and I was really geeked over it. I thought it was really, really, really cool. So I've been thinking about it since.
Even all the little dots, you can't see it, probably not on the camera, but when you see it up close, each little dot that's created is all a different size, like clearly indicating every piece is done by hand.
Imperfect,
and
little
again,
wisps of the brush.
It's like very important that you understand this isn't done in like sections. This is one huge individual piece that then was remade to do smaller ones and stuff. So really special, really, 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 really cool.
Incredible.
Only a handful of them made too, so grab them up.
Yeah. Goodness gracious, baby. Wow. Okay, so we've obviously talked about the tapestry itself. This was cut from the tapestry. So we have the Khaki fabric, the silk screened bandana material, then translated into a shirt. We had the bandana tapestry in a charcoal, so this is obviously the red, but a similar treatment. Really sharp.
One thing I also read that was pretty interesting is that when they designed this theme for the bandana, they, instead of using like American traditional bandanas, had like cornfields and different like more American like foliage. They're using all Japanese flowers, Japanese vines, Japanese. So it's a little bit more traditional to the Japanese history as opposed to American, which is a pretty cool like take.
Man, I just love the textures of the dots. As we said, the dots are all super organic. The good is good coming across the chest, which is really cool that they cut it so that the good is good is facing upright and legible, like right here on that right breast.
And if you turn around, I really love that it's also same deal as the other jacket, except for it's got the center seam all the way down. Just a cool detail on how they kind of put all the fabric together. Yeah.
Absolutely
great.
stellar.
Comes in 3 colors too. So I think we showed the black bandana tapestry, and then we've also got it here. Also to note too, I don't think we have it over here, but if you like the tapestry or the jacket, we also do have smaller bandanas too. I think they're just selling out pretty quick.
Up,
we've got a couple different sizes of those as well.
Yep. And if you're looking to accessorize, we have these beautiful pins.
So they're all based on like different vintage like pins, like political pins, band pins, just different like things throughout the years that have been popular. Especially kind of feels like it's like 70s themed.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes along with the whole
Niceness
rock
for
and roll era and
president.
stuff. Yeah.
We've got a cool statue with some lettering. The bandana, like you said, the bandana material, and then the end of the century niceness. Cool.
Yeah.
Looks like
Just
mine.
a cool little way to kind of bring. They do different ones every single season, so it's a cool way to kind of collect things from the season too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. All right. Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Here comes the boy. You said something while you were getting ready. Say it about this sweater.
I'm a fan of the quarter zip over the crew neck.
Wow.
That's how I feel. And I don't do quarter necks either. Quarter zips.
Yeah.
So
It's really sharp.
yeah, it's good.
It's really sharp. So, everything that we talked about with the sweatshirt applies here. It's no different. Same fabric, same everything. I will say, and we'll talk about the bag next. When you see the construction that they've, I think normally you just look at this as you're constructing and be like, well, this is kind of a pain in the ass thing that we got to work around. Mm-hmm. They've like incorporated so much into it to make a small detail of adding the zip, not like a separate piece of the construction, but as part of like the
like
whole.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, especially when you see the backside of this. So let's talk about the bag really quick. So obvious take on like, I don't know of like a classic LL Bean bag, except for like if you took everything and then just ratcheted it up 100 degrees. I mean, it is so much of everything. So you obviously get the N, with they've connected it. Now you got the niceness N that they put on there. The ends have all been riveted to hell. Yeah. It is like, the thing that you really see in person is how like beat this thing is. Because normally these will like stand up on their own. This one won't. It is like natural and really cool. And it just, every aspect of it is like really like had, like you can really see all of this happening. You can see that the dye is bled
into the wall. And we were, I'm not going to say this as a fact, but like this strap has the sturdiness of like a fucking truck strap. You're cranking down like, you got some gear in the back of your truck. Like everything on it is super heavy duty, incredibly thick and solid feeling.
They also finished here's the dye bleeds and stuff that are happening. This is all like backed. This thing is like a beast too. It's like a real beater. Then they finished it off with like a classic hook closure on the inside, which I think is really cool. Included this big, beefy, naturally dyed interior pocket.
Look at that.
Isn't that cool?
Good is good.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe that? Everything else is kind of unfinished on the inside, which is great. So you can just kind of throw anything in here. I mean, this is like, I carry a beanbag and kind of always have, and I love them. This is like, it's like I said, it's like the best version of what that could be.
It's really, really, really
also,
good.
if you follow like the crazy shit with beanbags, if you go to get this colorway specifically from the vintage ones, you're paying like $3,000 at this point. So honestly, even if this is expensive, this is like a way better made version, and it's better than buying vintage. So as far as price goes. So, and then, Alec, turn around and just show that kind of back, the finishing there. So again, still got that big raglan finish, and then they've got the deep V that connects to here, which I just think is so smart, as opposed to just adding that in as like a more of a classic detail, making it its own. And the V here, that paneling, if you turn around one more time, Alec, that paneling is that same thing that's happening down here on the band, where you get a bunch of the interesting, almost like melanging happening.
Yeah, it's like a horizontal heathering or melange.
Yeah, really pretty stuff. When we first saw the brand in person, I followed it for a long time. Mm-hmm. We were able to meet with them in Japan and see it. I when we left it, to try to explain to people, I'm like, it's like clothing for the biggest clothing nerds you've ever met. Like every single detail is so obsessed over, and they're so excited to share it with you. This really feels like, if you're into clothes and you've been into clothes for a long time, whatever they're doing is to the degree that it's like it's for nerds. It's for 100%. People who are obsessed.
Who really are going to obsess about it and care about it.
Yeah. It's really great. It's one of the most excited, as excited we've been to bring in the brand for a really long time. So, yeah, really cool stuff.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alec.
Thank you, Alan.
Any parting words?
Thank you for having me.
I love scheduled to work today.
I love this stuff on my skin. Feels great.
Yeah.
Everything is ready to wear right out the box. Everything is so meticulously done. It is a masterclass in everything that they do here. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. All right, wrap it up for us, Chase.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening and for watching and for being part of our community. As mentioned, this is our first shipment with Niceness. There is more to come, and it may be on the way or it might not be. I actually have to check on that. But there is plenty more to come. Obviously, it's something that we'll continue to carry in the future as well. like, comment, subscribe. If there's other brands you'd like to see us do this to, it could be something we've already had. Even if we've done one of these in the past and you just want to update or something, it's all good. Just let us know. That's what we're here for. Thank you again for being here. Show some love. Listen to the podcast Timothy and I have. It's called Customer Service Podcast. It is he and I doing our thing that we do regularly just in front of Mike. So we're bullshitting and bickering with each other. Thank you so much. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
All right, that's it.
See you
Bye.
later.
Thank you.